Seamlessly blending photo elements with Luminar Neo is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Let's see what we can accomplish in 10 minutes or less, starting now. Hello, everyone. All right, so I'm back from my two trips. The one trip down south to give a foot conference down south, South Florida, and then I flew up to New Jersey to give a conference with Rick Farrow and Rick Freeman, along with TNF cameras. I was able to do 2 lectures for the local colleges and kids up there, so that was really cool. Then we taught this amazing workshop, which I want to show you. Now, I have to admit, it may take a little bit longer than 10 minutes because I talked to the Skylum insiders who are watching this live, and they want me to show from start to finish. You get it? So let's dive right in. We are going to start with, let me just readjust it, revert to original. There we go. We'll start with this image, and a little finessing, we'll end with this image. All right? So first thing we're going to start with, I do need to crop it because this is going to be printed as either an 8x10 or 16x20. So why don't we start with it? 4x5 will give me the dimensions I need for printing. All right? So I like it right about here. And yes, I am going to put them dead smack in the center. Over here's where we're going to put that other element. All right, now I have it set. Let's start with develop. And here I am going to come down. I just like the way portrait looks. My camera profile. I'm going to bump up the shadows a little bit. We'll look at that. Enrich the black tones. Right about there. I am going to bring down the highlights just a little bit. While I'm here, I am going to desaturate the entire image just a little, and then bump up the color or the vibrancy just a touch. All right, let's look at the difference. Ready? So again, that was just a real quick develop. Before, after, good. The lighting and what I did in camera got us 90% of the way there. What I do want to add a little bit more, again, I wouldn't do this if I were batch processing this, then this step I wouldn't do. I would use Base AI, but I want to show you this as if we're only working with one single image, all right? So I am going to use adjustment or Accent AI, but I'm only going to apply it with a radial tool just to his face area. Now watch the difference. Look at this. You see how it draws your eye to the subject? And while I'm here, I might as well get the bottom half of the image darker. We're going to go from dark to light. But once again, I'm using a global change. Made the whole image dark. Now I'm only going to apply it to the local area that I want. Look at that. Beautiful. All right. Since it is a portrait, I do want to enhance the eyes and the skin. Now, here's a great time to explain the difference with our new product, Aperty. So Aperty is for high-end portraits like this, where I have more control of the features. Luminar Neo does a phenomenal job. Aperty is the program that I'll be switching to when I'm doing high-end stuff like this. So watch this. I'm going to take the eyes, and I'm going to apply the same color brown that he has. But I'm going to dial it back a bit. Right about there. Now, no, look at that. Watch. Look how it makes the eyes, just brings the eyes out better. And I want to enhance the eyes. There we are. Look at this. Before, after. I'm not going to mess with the skin because he's a man. And this, I want him to look manly. But guess what we will do? We're going to use my favorite tool, Dramatic. Here's my sports grit look. Ready? Coming at you. Let's go to out. Pop a little brightness in. Right about there. That's a little too much. I don't want to do too much of the grit look. That looks good, but I don't want it too much on the smoke. And I'll talk a little bit more about that smoke. Dale, if I forget, remind me. So I'm going to come to brush, erase, keep the strength low, and guess what we're going to do? We're going to come in here And now I'm going to selectively paint the effect or erase the effect on certain areas of the scene. And yeah, look at that. The smoke is one of them. Now watch. Yeah, there we go. All right, looking great. Now, I did change the smoke in the background. I should have thrown a filter on the fog machine, but I didn't. So while we're here, why not add a little blue to the smoke? I don't want to do too much of it. Just enough. Let's see. That's it. But I don't want it on him. So let's use Mask AI. What Mask AI is going to do, it's going to analyze the scene for me. It's going to find elements like the human in the scene. And it's going to let me select the elements. In this case, the human. And instead of applying the tool to the human, we're going to do the opposite effect. All right? Give it a second. Nope, I found the human. I don't want it to be applied to him. What I want it to do is invert it. There we go. Look at that. So now that blue tint isn't on him. All right, let's see. Before and after. Before, after. Now we're ready to have a great time with the extra feature. So if you were doing this, and let's say you're making this a paid assignment, this image here cost this much money to the client. What we're about to do is going to take it up a totally different notch. All right? I'm going to apply the element that I photographed. Now, where did I get that from? Well, I clicked plus. I browsed my hard drive. I found where the image is, which happened to be this image, and I just brought it in. So let's look at it, what it looks like. That's what it looked like. So you see what I did? Took a picture, click. All right, Lino, turn around. And he was supposed to bend over more. Click. Now I have an element. What I wish he did, and I tried, was, let me get to it, is I wish I had him do this. Right, like that. You see what I just did? So I could have done a Dutch tilt if he didn't do it. In this case, I just took a quick shot, got it all set. Now watch what we're going to do. So I have him set under layer properties. I need to remove that background. So I'm going to go to portrait background removal. Could get a little tricky because I didn't see a face. All I care about is getting rid of that black. And it's going to punch, there it is. It punched a hole through it. However, I am going to fix the hair a little bit. Now, what I could have done, but you know what? Let's try it. While I'm here, maybe the background removal would have been a better choice because it doesn't see the portrait. It just sees the back of a person. So maybe the background will look better. And let's not forget, I'm shooting black on black. Yep, it did. So it did a better job. Remove. So in a case like this, decide which tool works best. Beautiful. All right, now that I have it, now what I need to do is I'm going to shrink it just a little bit. Got it. Grab it. And I'm going to bring it up to right about there, maybe a little bit more. Shrink it just a touch more. There we go. Get it into position. There, okay, that's fine. Now, all I need to do is have a little fun with the opacity. That looks good. And then here's the masking. I could, but you know what? Let's try it. I'm going to go background removal again. Now I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it right where it's at. But I am going to do this. Brush, erase at a smaller strength. And I just want to erase it here, but I do want the softness to be very high because I don't want a harsh edge. There we go. Look at that. There. Now, this is where you decide how much I want to invest in the time. And I'm going to do this. Brush a little more. Almost there. Right about there. There we go. There. Now, you see how everything just flows in? And then I could decide, again, how much do I want that to appear? That looks great. All right. So now that I have it set, export, I'm going to put it back in the folder it came from. So that was the last folder I used. So what I want to do is come down into photography. It was under, not click on. Here it is, travel. Oh, I know. Yep, I got it. Traveling on the road, workshops, TNF camera. There we go. And complete. And because I've already done a couple of these, underscore version 2. Export. And there we have it. So, look how fast that was. Now I would create a preset, which we saw for the sports guy, for the senior, apply to all the images in one shot. Now all the images are done. And for the clients that wanted the superimposed, that's when I would go back quality control and say, okay, select this one, and this one. Additional editing, which means additional cost in the final. Now, I mentioned the smoke. That was done by this incredible new product called Smoke Ninja. It's about the size of my phone. And I couldn't believe it did something this amazing. However, there were several of us doing this at the same time. And it's designed not to set the smoke alarm off. So I don't know if TNF Camera had an older system. He said it was like 14 years old. But guess who came out to visit us? You guessed it, the fire department. Look at this guy. So, come on. Bunch of guys like this guy was like 6'4". They show up and I'm doing a shoot, especially with my dramatic tool. You could bet they're going to pose for me. And I just smiled at them and just said to their captain, hey, Cap, can we use him? And he said, yes, his name is Mike, but would you rather use, they called him Handsome Tom. And I said, no, this is the man who I'd want climbing up a ladder to save me if I were in a fire. How awesome is this? But look, it took us less than a minute to photograph this. And you'll love it right in front of them. I used Luminar Neo, 30 seconds, click, paste, done. And then my good friends at TNF printed a nice portrait for him that they walked out. So imagine coming in, shutting off the alarm, snap a picture, edit. They print it all within less than 5 minutes. And he walked out of there with this image here. Absolutely incredible. Not to mention the fact it's such a fun day. All right. Well, guys, I hope that was very helpful. And once we start showing Aperty more, I'll show you how now I can change my workflow. Luminar does a phenomenal job at stuff like this. If this, let's say the fire department asked me to do an entire shoot for them, then I would go into Aperty, do the high-end portraits, use Luminar Neo for the creative blending like you saw with the superimpose, and then we're good to go. All right? Well, hey, guys, if you're here, please stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment. For everyone else, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.